Yo, what's going on guys, it's Cynical and welcome back to another video. Today for you guys we're going to be looking at 10 must-have mods for Kingdom Hearts 3. Considering that Kingdom Hearts 3 has been on PC for close on 3 months now, the mod community has been really hard at work coming up with all sorts of really neat things. I thought it would be cool to get a video out just talking about 10 mods that aim more towards quality of life changes or other smaller minuscule things that I think you should at least have one of these installed to really change up your Kingdom Hearts 3 experience. Coming in at number 1 is Remove Wall Effects by 13th Vessel. A very simplistic mod but goes the extra mile. It does exactly what it says. It removes the wall effect indicator to tell you that you can run up a wall. Obviously not recommended for if you're a first timer for Kingdom Hearts 3, but if you've played the game time and time again, you're obviously going to know what walls you can and can't run up. It's a little bit strange that this wasn't a preset option within the options menu for the game. They can sometimes get a little bit annoying, especially if you're used to knowing exactly what walls you can and can't run up, so it's now nice to actually have that option to disable them. Coming in at number 2 is the custom HUD for Sora by Blaster Grimm. Of course, for Kingdom Hearts 3, we ended up getting CG-based character portraits for the heads-up display, and this was the first time in the series' history, as previously for any other game aside from 0.2 Birth by Sleep, the character portraits were always hand-illustrated by Tetsuya Nomura. Personally, I don't like these CG-based ones, and I think going forward, we're probably going to continue to get CG-based ones, which is a little bit disappointing. There's a certain amount of charm that comes along with the hand-illustrated ones, but anyway, this mod turns the CG-based one into an illustrated one. And what's really cool about this too is this artwork is officially done by Tetsuya Nomura. It works just the way a normal HUD portrait works, so for instance, if Sora is taking damage, the portrait will change. The portrait is slightly altered too for when Sora is in different forms, as well as a unique one for that of Rage form. However though, what you should know is if you go to a world where Sora is in a world-specific outfit or form, for example Monsters Inc., it will revert back to just the standard HUD portrait. Speaking about HUD stuff, coming in at number 3 is the Simple HUD and Alternate Colors by YURILEWD. This changes the coloring for the HP bar, MP bar, as well as focus gauge. And what's cool about this mod is there's quite a few different options you can pick between. This one right here is Gradient, this one right here is Berry, but my personal favorite would definitely have to be the Dream Drop Distance version, which changes the color of the bars and gauges to that of the theme of Dream Drop Distances. This is a really simple yet neat mod that adds a nice little twist and extra amount of flavor and I guess personalization to that of your bars for the heads-up display. Again, as I was saying, there are quite a few different color schemes to pick from, all of which are separate downloads over on the Nexus page. Coming in at number 4 is Smores KH1 Mailbox by my friend Caleb. Now this is an absolute throwback. It replaces that hideous looking Twilight Town mailbox with the Kingdom Hearts 1 Traverse Town mailbox. Absolutely beautiful, such a nice touch. And just quickly speaking about the mailbox system in Kingdom Hearts 3, well, yes, it was so cool to see it return. It's the first time it's returned since Kingdom Hearts 1. Man, they just didn't do it justice in KH3, like, at all, even down to the design of the actual mailbox in itself. In Kingdom Hearts 1, it acted more as like a little kind of treasure hunt type minigame specifically in the world of Traverse Town. In Kingdom Hearts 3, well, yes, you can continually keep receiving postcards through buying items. It was just a simple system integrated into buying items from the item shop. The rewards were sometimes cool in the way of synthesis, but they weren't specific rewards like you would get in Kingdom Hearts 1, and you had to do some unique things in Kingdom Hearts 1 in regards to actually getting those postcards. Now I do understand that there's a reason why the mailbox looks the way it does in Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's because it is in Twilight Town. Obviously the postbox that we see in Traverse Town fits to that of the theme of Traverse Town, right? Whereas the one that we see in Twilight Town more so fits to the theme of Twilight Town. But still, this is a nice little touch of nostalgia. Fantastic mod there, Caleb. And talking about one more heads-up display mod, this is the Kingdom Hearts 2 HUD Portraits by Dasmantissimo. This replaces every character's HUD portrait with their portrait from Kingdom Hearts 2, obviously meaning that if there are any specific characters that appeared only in Kingdom Hearts 3, like a lot of the Disney characters, they're of course not going to receive anything new, but for the characters that did appear in KH2 that are in Kingdom Hearts 3, do get their illustrated Kingdom Hearts 2 version of their portrait. Super nice, a really cool nostalgic mod for sure. It doesn't swap out form portraits, so you'll just remain with the Sora KH2 portrait for when in forms, but specifically when you are in rage form, you will have the anti-form portrait. What's nice about this too is it also changes the title screen, so now it's got Kingdom Hearts 3 Final Mix. As well as that too, while you're in the save menu, the character portraits that are on each save slot are now changed to the Kingdom Hearts 2 version. While I definitely prefer the custom HUD for Sora by Blaster Grimm, as it is an official illustration of KH3 Sora modded into the game, this one's a little bit cooler just for the sake of the fact that it also changes up your party member portraits too, so a very nice touch. Next up is improved movement by Aproydtix. Kingdom Hearts 3 came with a different feeling movement system, one that does feel a little bit more realistic, especially when you are turning the character, though what this means is the movement doesn't feel as fluid as previous Kingdom Hearts entries. What this mod does is it speeds up the animation, the turning animation, though while this can look a little bit jank sometimes, it will give Sora faster turns while in movement. This also speeds up the landing animation too, so once the jump has been performed, you are back to running a lot faster. Next up is the Remind ability integration by iwtexplode. This is most definitely a must-have mod, especially if you are thinking about starting a new game. As we know, there were some new abilities added into the Remind DLC in the sense of combo modifiers, and the way that you get these abilities are as soon as you clear the base game. They are automatically added to the ability menu. What is kind of frustrating about this is it would have been nice with the update that came along with the DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3 back when it released. It would have been nice if Square could have updated the game so that you do unlock these Reminds combo modifiers throughout the actual base game experience. This is of course what happened with the Final Mix versions of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. The Final Mix exclusive combo modifiers and abilities were added as bonus unlockables throughout the base game for certain boss fights and scenarios. So this is exactly what this mod does. It means that you're able to obtain the Remind combo modifiers throughout the base game story from defeating certain bosses. As an example, you'll unlock Flash Step from the Minotaur fight in Olympus, you'll get Aerial Sweep from the Tornado Titan, you'll get Aerial Dive from the Grim Gardeness, you'll get Quick Slash from the Ninja Nobodies fight in Arendelle, you'll get Radial Blaster from Marshmallow, and Last Charge from Dark Baymax. Honestly, going through the base game with these Remind combo modifiers almost gives it a different feeling experience to it, because as we know, these Remind combo modifiers really made Sora feel completely different, and for the greater good. The base game combo modifiers were just not good. Like Magic Flash and whatnot, they just weren't that great. They weren't really that enjoyable to use. With the introduction of these, it really increased the gameplay pacing. Not only that, but throughout the Remind scenario, you do also unlock some MP bonuses. Those bonuses have been removed from Remind and put into the base game so that you've got more magic to work with. Explode has added +5 MP bonuses to these following encounters: the first battle with Rapunzel and Flynn within the Kingdom of Corona, the electrified room within Monstropolis, and the Ninja Nobodies fight in Arendelle. Next is an extremely simple mod, but I think it's one that literally everyone should have installed from the get-go, and that is the Copyright Screen Skip by Chill Axel. It does exactly what it says it does. It skips the copyright portion of when you boot up Kingdom Hearts 3. As you guys will know, this is unskippable. Essentially what it is it's a movie file, so what this mod does is it removes that movie file, disables it, so that you don't have to go through the unskippable, pesky copyright nonsense with all the logos and companies every single time you boot up the game. Next is Kingdom Hearts 3 ReStyle by TrueBladeModder. This is another combo-based gameplay mod that modifies the animation speed of a lot of the different combo modifiers in the game. The animations for the combo modifiers have all been increased, meaning that Sora performs each move of his combos a little bit faster, also allowing you to attack cancel a lot quicker to fit more combos in, before revenge value is taken into effect by certain bosses. On top of that too, hitboxes for certain modifiers have also been increased as well. I would highly suggest that if you are thinking about starting a new game, installing the ReStyle mod along with the Remind ability integration really just gives you a completely new, refreshing first experience throughout the base game of Kingdom Hearts 3, with the increased combo gameplay speed that ReStyle introduces, and being able to use these Remind abilities early on in the game. It gives a fresh new take on the Kingdom Hearts base game experience. And the final mod that I want to mention is CMod. Now, we've talked a little bit about CMod. This is created by CriticPerfect and is a mod menu which introduces a host of really neat, cool things that you can do in the game. Now, currently there are 3 different mod menus that exist for Kingdom Hearts 3 on PC. The other 2 is the Trace mod menu by Lusu and the Exe menu by Exeblade. In this feature, I specifically though wanted to show off CMod because it is my personal favorite to use, just because of all the features it comes packed in with. The mod menu is activated by using Simba. Don't worry, by the way, if the summon animation is going on for a little bit longer than it should, that is meant to happen. Once you've activated Simba, simply move forward and you'll see a little kind of triangle pop up on the side of your screen. That's how you know that you have the mod menu activated. From there, just simply click the triangle, it will pop out into a menu, and away you go. Essentially, these mod menus enable you to do a bunch of really cool things, like being able to change up your party, as well as the playable character. I have to say too that the layout of CriticPerfect's mod menu, the CMod menu, is really nice. It's all laid out fairly straightforward. You can spawn enemies, whether it be bosses from the base game or Remind bosses like Yozora or Data Organization, as well as of course Nobodies and Heartless. There are also some toys you can muck around with too, like the Pixar Ball or the Gigases. On top of that too, there is also a level selector allowing you to warp to a few, not every single world room, but a few extra little world rooms. If you want to port straight to the Garden of Assemblage straight off the bat, then you can do so. Other stuff like God mode, no clip mode, but my favorite would probably have to be the debug camera, allowing you to detach from Sora and take the camera anywhere you please. So that right there is 10 mods that I highly suggest. These are most certainly must-have mods that will change your Kingdom Hearts 3 experience up in one way or another. All links are in the description down below. Hopefully you guys get use out of at least one of these mods. It's crazy to think that we are literally only at the very beginning of the mod cycle, I suppose you could say, for Kingdom Hearts 3, but even still so, it's crazy to see what has already come out after only 3 months. I cannot wait to see what the future of Kingdom Hearts modding brings. However guys, that is all for today's video. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.